Hey everyone, I am Prof Sales.
And I'm Just Ask Kaaren.
And there is no bumper intro today because this is going to be a free-form Friday. That's a lot of F's to say all at the same time. And welcome to the Prof Sales YouTube channel.
It's just how we roll.
Have this whole big, we prepare a topic and we set up, an outline, and it's very, put together. Today, not so much, but that doesn't mean we're not going to bring some value and have some fun along the way.
And that doesn't mean we haven't been working really hard today.
Yeah, so this channel is about being a reseller. It's about being in business for yourself. It's about being an entrepreneur. And it's also about your mindset and staying positive, because those are all important things. If you decide to start a business and you do start a business, the only way to succeed is to have a positive mindset as well. And we're glad that you guys are here. There's a live show going on right now, our live chat. So if you ever want to join us, 2 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Eastern Standard Time, and you can join live. Or what can they do if they don't catch it live, Kaaren?
They can subscribe, choose that little alarm bell thingy, and choose all notifications, and it'll tell you when to come, and you can be reminded or watch us later.
That's right. That's right. So people are filling into the chat room, and this is going to be a little bit different show than we normally do, just because. I mean, it's just one of those Fridays, right?
Well, we're in a new place, and it's a little echoey in here. Are you noticing that? Like the sound is different.
I don't know. Do you guys notice any echo in the chat? Let us know if you do. We are in our new studio. We're going to give you a visual tour of that.
You get to see our really uncharacteristically messy kitchen.
Yeah, today, well, I came to Kaaren a day or two ago, and I said, we need to create a studio. Like, we need to create somewhere to do photos, to do videos, so that we don't have to keep setting stuff back up. We're not tripping over ourselves. We don't have equipment all over the place. And we decided that this sunroom that we have on our house would be the best decision. And we will still broadcast from time to time from other locations, but we wanted somewhere that we could just go and do a video or do photos really simply and not have all this other stuff in the way. So I'm going to try to show you guys what the room, this was the room just a little bit earlier today. And you can see there was still a lot of stuff in there. We'd actually already moved some stuff out.
That wasn't all of it.
And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see this too. That was about midway through the project. Maybe you can sort of see there, we've gotten a lot of that stuff out. And
hey, go figure, I had a desk in there somewhere.
Yeah, and this is what it basically looks like now. So you can see that, like, sorry, there's a little bit of reflection there.
Oh, wow, the window in the
You
front.
can see that there's a little bit that we've changed it totally around. And we're going to give you a quick tour of that. I'm going to try to pick this up. Kaaren, can you?
Uh-oh. I'm not allowed to touch the camera anymore. Apparently, I adjusted, and that's a
so no. Can you just make sure the mic doesn't move too much? And I'm going to try to pick this up and show you guys what we did. So we took everything out of this room. This room is basically 10 by 10. So it's 100 square feet, more or less. And it has like a sliding door, goes outside. It's got windows on 3 sides, which is always a challenge, but we think we've kind of figured all that out. I don't know if we have or not. But I'm going to try to show you as I pick this up.
I got it. It's anchored.
So you can see over there is what we will officially call the Kaaren wall. You can see her lemon backdrop she's got there in the background, hopefully. And you can see we have the lights set up. And then as you come around, of course, you have our black background that you see us with all the time. We have some nice windows up there. So we have nice natural lighting above us, which is always cool. And then over on this side, we have another 2 lights. We have our big light box kit, as well as you can maybe just make out the mannequins over there. That's where we actually have a table that we're setting on right now. And what we will do is let me put this back, adjust this. What we will do is we will set that table up over there, and that's where we will be able to take photos of products or really anything. And the great thing about having this is we can change this backdrop behind us. We could even do a green screen if we wanted to.
And yeah, we're actually going to have some fun with that. Ben hasn't seen it yet. I'll go get him after school here in a little bit. But, he takes pictures as well. And we told him that he's more than welcome to use it as a portrait studio for when he does work. freelance. The only thing he's not excited about is the sliding glass door. We're not going to let him come in and out of when he mows the grass.
Yeah, because it tracks grass everywhere.
So, but I think the fact that he can use the space in any way that he wants will be enough to counterbalance the fact that he's just going to have to, he's young. He can walk from the front door to the back.
That's right. He's got young legs without all these miles on him like ours. But we are, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I thought, trying to cram photos into, 6 square feet, trying to cram or trying to figure out where to shoot, our YouTube broadcast from every week, at least 3 times a week. It's a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge because you're always moving stuff. You're moving lights, you're moving the camera, you're moving microphones, you're taking stuff off of a table, moving stuff out of an area. And that's how stuff gets damaged. And it's just annoying. And at least now, I think we should be able to set up in here and sort of replicate what we're doing. And we can change things, in the backdrop and so on. We may even do this without the backdrop. I was looking at the natural light behind us. It was actually kind of cool.
Yeah. And we feed the birds, so the birds could join us every now and then.
Oh, that's a great idea. You guys could get to see some birds for free. Anyway, that was strange. So I don't know where we're going with that. But
it's Friday.
Yeah. If you guys are on Instagram, you can find me at Prof Sales on Instagram. It's actually, there's a link in the description, and you can see those photos of what I just showed you a little clearer. It's a little hard to show you on a, computer screen looking at a photo on a phone. But I think it's cool. I mean, and Kaaren gets another benefit out of it too.
Oh, I want to tell him. So it's not just the room, right? This was very important.
You tell him, and I'll show him as you do.
Set aside the space, right? I think that you're alluding to the rut that I've become into, right? And my desk, which you guys saw, it had a surface area to it apparently. We moved that to the front. So now what was the processing / prof office is now going to be the both of us office. And where that might sound a little challenging to some of you, it's actually a gift because I've gotten into this habit of getting up in the morning. I've been off of caffeine for 2 days now, and I'm quite unpleasant as a result. But my habit, even before the unpleasantries, was I would get up, sit on the couch, get out my beloved MacBook, and just stay there. I get stuck on updating this or uploading that or commenting on this or just doing the things. And I would sit too long. Even if I got up and walked around, it's not a conducive place for being productive. I mean, let's just be honest.
And that's a great question. I'd like to hear from some of you guys in the chat. We have 65 people watching right now, so thank you very much for that. You guys coming out on Friday. What's kind of been like do you have a place where you feel more productive or less productive, maybe in your house, in your workspace? And, has it been a challenge to go to the productive place and stay away from the not so productive place when you're trying to get something done? Because to your point, we realize that if we sit on the couch, I usually don't sit on the couch and try to do work. But when she does, or if I try to do that, I find that I'm not productive. Like my mind wanders. I don't feel like I'm in the right framework a lot of times, the right mindset. And it makes it very difficult for me. I don't know. It's maybe just, growing up thinking the couch is somewhere you sit and watch TV and hang out, and it's just, I don't know.
But we've also been paying attention to all the thingies. Thank you very much, Adam and Cooper, funny peanut gallery
9 minutes.
people.
You made it.
Oh, did I? Thingy. But we've also been paying attention to when, we learn different, we produce different, like when I want to brainstorm, for example, like I'm ready to go 7 o'clock at night. All right, let's make a list of topics for the next month. And it's not in his wheelhouse. Like at 7 o'clock at night, that's just not the time. And we're paying attention to, the fact that me being on the couch is not sitting there. It's not. So moving the desk in there not only gives me my dedicated space, but it gives me some structure. You guys, I don't know what your impression of me is, where I'm kind of this structure-less person. And I like to make my own way, right? As most of us do. But I do need a little bit of structure. I think it's going to be very helpful because now I get up and I'll go and do the things that I do each day, and it's going to start at that desk. And I think that's a good thing.
Lots of great comments on this too. Good. Heather says mainly work at the dining table. My family loves it. Sarcasm. Hey, if it works for you, my bedroom is 100% off limits until I sleep, Hannah says.
Oh, brilliant, Hannah.
Ed says he has a garage strictly for the business. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Skip says all my spaces are multi-purpose. Drives me nuts. Maybe you need to like just say this one is no longer multi-purpose. It's set up for this. I hide in the master bedroom closet. Joe, get a lot done in there. Rags is more productive at night. Mark says anywhere I can't see squirrels is productive.
But isn't that difficult? Like sometimes the squirrels are just everywhere.
Yeah. Alexis, more productive in the garage. Thomas has a space for photos challenge. Just having to move totes every time. Oh, that stinks, Thomas. I know of what you speak. Having to move stuff every time you want to be productive is terrible. I mean, it's like there's just something terrible in your mind that just, reacts to that and says, I don't even want to do that. Like that just, it makes your ability to even go do it just so much harder. And a lot of people do that. So I would recommend to you, store your stuff, go vertical, move it up high, store it somewhere where you can have enough workspace to get done, to work on your business, whatever you need for it, whether it's photos, whether it's an office. And I realized that when we had the front room that we had the office, the processing space, and some inventory all in the same room. I'm like, what the heck is this space for? Like it became this thing. Like I go in there and I'm sitting there, all right, I need to sit down and do this. And then I look over and there's some inventory that needs attention, or I need to photograph and list those 10 things. I mean, it became very difficult. Like that's not how you would set up, like say a factory where you were manufacturing something. It's usually segmented and chunked so that you can be productive in each area.
Well, and whenever anybody comes to visit new to the house and we would have, a rack of shoes or the rack of, the bins and things, it's kind of, that sort of starts the conversation. I think now we kind of control the first impression people get a little bit more, like when the salesperson comes, oh, you must work eBay from home or what,
They're like, what are you doing here? And like, better you ask no questions.
But another thing about having to move the equipment, it's hazardous. And I can speak from experience. I'll tell the people moving the lights is detrimental to the light bulb health, apparently. And I've only done it once. All right, they get it. But one of the box lights just went and we had to order new bulbs, and they're not cheap.
And it's easy to do because the lights are not exactly conducive to being moved.
No,
they're kind of a bulky.
They're top heavy.
You've got the long tripod that can catch on things. The top is big and rectangular shaped and can catch on things. And it's top heavy. Hey, Red Neckerson's Resales, thank you so much for the super chat. Check out their channel over there, guys. Great friend of the channel, and they come on quite often. And you can click on their icon and check out their YouTube channel as well. So thank you very much for that on a Friday. It's always good. $1.87. I love that total. That's just a great total.
It's an eye catcher.
Some other people are talking about other things here. You have no idea how productive you want to be, and an hour later you're tired of moving stuff and you're done. Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much. And we just, right before we went on, and before I wrecked the camera view by moving the computer.
I know, she's like, I want to type, and moves the whole camera. I'm like, what are you doing?
All I wanted to do was say hi to everybody. But right before we started, we had this moment where we said, you know what, this is going to be good for us in so many ways.
Right.
Like and I think we're going to do some more tours of the space, right?
Yeah, we'll do the front room once we're not done with the front room, the office.
Are we going to go in the garage?
Sure, we can do that. You guys want to tour the garage? Maybe not right this second, but
yeah, that'll be interesting. But so the plan is to, all the photo magic happens here, business in the front, photos in the back. And then in the garage, we have, all of my items that I need to list. And we've got some show and tell as well that we pulled from that we can talk about later. But
yeah.
All of that stuff, including Ben, you know, he's going to start listing as well. And he's leaning more towards doing local sales. And he's not 18 yet, so he can't open his own accounts and things.
Right.
So I'm willing to work with him. So for the moms and families out there we have some friends that are already doing that with their kids, but he's actually going to start selling it on his Instagram and local offer up things. And he's had some luck with selling clothing and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, guys, whatever your work setup is, you know, really think about it if it makes sense for what you're trying to do. I know for a lot of people, and for us as well, space is at a premium, and it's been at a premium for us. We actually just are going to re-sign the lease, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So we were trying to, you know, think about business. We were thinking about our family needs. We were thinking about all, you know, kind of the future. And we all three had to sit down and talked about that and decided to sign for a while longer here. So that was kind of interesting. Maybe we can talk about that. Maybe not. This is a free form flowing Friday.
It's like nonsensical Friday. So it's kind of like whatever, you know, whichever way the wind blows. I feel like that's how today is going to go.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you so much, Flipper Joe, for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Good to see you back in the chat. I know you had to step away for a little while to take care of some personal issues and so on, but so awesome that you're back. And thank you so much for being a great member of the community. He's also a member of Rebels as well. Rebels of Reselling.
Rebels.
I know, the Rebels.
And, you know, Flipper Joe's been at this a long time as well. So
yes.
We count him as one of our resources in this wonderful community.
Absolutely. So I'm curious what you guys are doing for the weekend. I started thinking about some things I wanted to do, you know, going forward with eBay. And one thing I want to do is I want to scale down more of the clothing or the hanging stuff.
That's right.
The hanging stuff, the things like that, sort of the tchotchke one-offs. 30% off, which is pretty low for some of that stuff, especially when a lot of it's free shipping now, you know, so I'm like, oh, but I kind of want to get rid of that, reduce down some space. We're trying to reduce our footprint overall and have just more space in this house. So I'm running that sale on, and it appears to be working. I actually had quite a few sales between the time I started that sale, which I think was yesterday, right? I believe it was.
So it's working.
Yeah. I mean, definitely a good, and I'm not necessarily selling those things, but I'm selling other things. You know, there again, eBay, when you change something, no matter what it is, kind of curious what you guys are doing right now. I mean, we are in the peak of fourth quarter. You could argue we're heading towards Thanksgiving next week, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all these big online selling holidays, what have you. I don't know if that's the right term. But, you know, what are you doing to impact your sales and push your progress forward? Do you have anything you're trying to get rid of right now? Are you using the promoted listings? Because I haven't really heard too many resellers talking about those lately.
No, the consensus was that was a broken idea.
Yeah, and I don't know if they've really fixed the reporting for that or not. And if anybody in the chat has, or anybody watching this afterwards, if you have any experience with the promoted listings right now, we'd love to hear kind of what your experience has been. I actually have not been doing them as of late. You know, that might change. I don't know. Somebody said, don't tell anyone the secrets. Oh, yes, I have all this. all the secrets are right here.
Hey, Sarah from Spain. How did I read that right? It does say Sarah.
Oh, nice. Kind regards from Spain. That's cool.
Oh, that's very cool. And Thomas said two things. So he said something that speaks to the heart of our moving here. He said that he stays where he is because he can't wrap his head around moving. And that's a struggle for me, Thomas. On a serious note, I'm not sure if you were being cheeky there, but seriously, for me, just the concept of, oh, well, we'll just make the photo studio in here and then we'll move that. Like certain things, it's hard for me to visualize. So the fact that we just got up this morning and it was all about making a big mess, but working towards something, it's made, I already feel relief. I already feel like it's made a big difference, and it's given us
Yeah.
You know, some focus on moving forward. I also love, Thomas, that you said you're not sourcing until you get your stuff listed. We're in the same boat. And I think next week, and maybe our shows will reflect it, but we're committing to getting the things, not only following up on our what do we do with the stuff that's not selling thing by blowing it out with this sale, but we're also going to focus really hard on listing. Me in particular, because I don't spend any time on my store. I just don't.
Right.
And I have to. Like, I just have to do it. And I know that a lot of people are stuck pulling that trigger. So maybe we'll kind of speak to that.
Yeah.
The next time we get together, just doing it. Maybe we'll.
And you know, something I noticed earlier today when we were organizing and moving stuff this morning, Kaaren was not excited about starting this project. I told her we were starting a certain time, and then I just started, and she's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "It was the time. You know, what do you want from me?" But she's giving me the look. But one thing I noticed, guys, that I think helps a lot of times, at least it helps us. Her items that she had that she wanted to list for her store were in here on a couple of our black shelving units. They were stacked. I mean, they were neat, but they weren't really all like kind of together. And some of the things that were on those shelves were not really things that need to be listing. They were just things that kind of got stuck there. So what we did is we moved those items into the garage where we have some other items that we need to list as well, but we organized them into bins. And I think that, I don't know how for you guys, but I think for me, when things are organized in bins, it allows me to visualize easier what needs to be done rather than it's just sort of haphazard. You know, you could take 50 pair of shoes and put those in 5 bins, 10 shoes each. And I would feel much more comfortable listing those than I would if you just took 50 pair of shoes and threw them on the floor. That would look terrible to me. I'd be like, I can't stand those sitting there like that. So just the act of organizing your inventory, or maybe even just your items that need to be sold or need to be listed, I think sometimes that helps spur you on because it doesn't seem so overwhelming. It's segmented. You're like, well, I could just focus on this bin. These 8 or 9 items are in here. These 10 items done. And you know, and it has a place to go. You can put it back in that bin and store it there if you want. So I'm hopeful that'll kind of help you like figure out, you know, have a better handle on what you need to do to list those and so on. That's kind of the idea.
Well, and my pile just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And you're absolutely right. In putting them in buckets, as we sometimes call them, I can actually, instead of thinking, because you said to me, Kaaren, you don't have to list everything in the same day.
Right.
So it's an easy sort of one bite at a time approach to take that one bucket, no matter what's in it, and process that. Like take the photos, list it, take the photos, list it, and do it a bucket at a time instead of thinking, oh, I have to do all of my shoes. Because, you know, it's not a lot compared to the other things that we sell in the other store, but it's a lot for one person just to look at and think, oh, wow, how am I going to get that done?
Yeah, and Jennifer says, I have a bin by my computer. I fill it with 10 items every day, and that's my goal. The D overwhelms me. Oh, that's great.
That's perfect.
I mean, 10 is like not a crazy total. It's not, you know, if you have 100 items and you think, I got to list these 100 items, that's a lot.
Well, and then look, Red Neckerson puts the number on his bin and then puts that in his listing. And we do that too. We do it with our SKU number as well as location. But you're absolutely right, because it helps you. You can go back when you're pulling the things to ship, and it's a very easy, quick reference, and you know where to go, where to get it, and you're off.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, try sort of that or to be listed into just even storing them in a bins or boxes or something that will make them a little more manageable. Plus, you can take them vertical. You can take them up higher on shelving units, so they're not taking them as much floor space. And just having space to walk around in your inventory area, whatever it looks like for you, that's a big win. I mean, it's depressing when you have to go into a space and it's just filled full of junk and you have to, you know, pull through things to get things out. I mean, that's anybody, and you know, there's no reason to beat yourself up over it. It's happened, but you know, even take the time to organize it. It's probably worth it in the long run, even though it's going to take you some time to do that and put it in bins or buckets or whatever your system is. So
Cooper, I'm not sure marmosets are the best to manage your inventory. I'm just saying.
Marmosets, those are like primates, right?
Or marsupials.
Marsupials?
Primatals. Marsupials. I don't know.
Speaking of 100 listings.
Yes, so we had an anniversary yesterday. And apologies that we said we were going to go on and do an anniversary show. I had to go speak for an annual Breakfast of Hope that I do every year, and that took precedent. So by the time up to downtown and back and all of that stuff, it just takes a lot out of me. So we just weren't able to go and do the anniversary show justice like we would have. But we're still going to update everybody. If you want to check it out, you can watch all 9 hours of it by going back through the channel and finding it a year ago this week.
Yeah, a year ago yesterday, we listed 100 pair of jeans in a day. It took all day.
Forever.
We shot photos, I think, of maybe about 30 of them
30
or so.
40. We had
30 or 40, 35.
And at some point we became our own bottleneck. And we've said this before. We could have planned a little differently, but we made pictures and then we did listings, and then I'm talking about how to do this, how to do that. And there was a lot of content. It was a lot of fun. We crammed a lot into that 9 hours. Should it take 9 hours to list 100 jeans? Probably not.
No, we could have done it faster.
So everybody that's going to say, oh my gosh, it takes you that long. No, we had guests that came on and we talked about all kind of crazy things. But it was fun, and we got a lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot of words were said that day. But of course we have a spreadsheet. And you want to do that now since we're talking about it?
Yeah, so what I did is I took those 100 items, and I apologize. I wanted to have a little more in-depth review of this, if you will. Well, it is what it is. But I have been tracking those since November 16th of 2016 and November 16th of 2017, which would be yesterday. Actually, they're still tracking through today. So I've just been tracking how many sold, what they sold for, yada, yada, yada. And just to kind of give an idea. Now, just a caveat, these 100 jeans that we did were nothing special. Mm-mm. They were just the 100 that we had. We didn't pre-choose them for some other reason. So they should be as representative of a sample as we have in terms of what you can expect. And I would also say that I've done pretty much nothing special to these jeans since then. I haven't ran special sales that were only for them. I haven't had special discounts. A lot of these, I think, if not all of them now, are probably good till cancels. I think they all started as 30-day listings, and over time, I sort of started figuring them in. But and we like to give you guys a lot of transparency on this channel, so there's nothing any different about or nothing unusual about these. But you can see here that the 100 listings, it's been 366 days that we've had them listed. And we've sold a total of 79 of them. Now, part of the reason this list looks a little different, 71 plus 8, is because I started tracking the way I was figuring sales a little differently. So I had to incorporate the old system and the new system. But as you can see, that's a 79% sell-through in 1 year. These were very run-of-the-mill, bread and butter jeans, a few home runs in there, some not so much. If I remember correctly, on the 16th, in 24 hours, I think 11 of these had sold. I think we sold 11 of them in the first 24 hours after listing 100 all day. That works out to about 0.2 per day that's sold, which would be roughly one every 5 days spread out over that time. Now, if I'd been more aggressive with, say, markdowns, special promotions, whatever. I was not doing free shipping back then. I was still doing calculated shipping. Maybe we would have sold more. Maybe, who knows? But that's a sell-through rate of 79% of those 100 over that time. And the ones that are left are okay. I mean, I've looked at some of them. I'm like, yeah, they're sort of run-of-the-mill jeans, run-of-the-mill sizes, nothing special. The average selling price was $24.54. That either has some calculated shippings in it or incorporates free shipping for the ones that I've switched since then. So that's just what it is. My shipping cost is basically $6.30. So you can figure out, whether that's a lot or a little. My average price on these, if I remember right, I think was around $3.50 a pair, but don't quote me on that. So basically, we've sold about 80% of them in those 365 days with doing absolutely nothing to them. So there you go. So that was the 100 jeans. I don't know if that's good or bad, or I mean, you can decide, like, if you think that's good results, terrible results. Sell 100% of them in that year, because jeans are very specific sometimes. I mean, if they're a run-of-the-mill jean that has 200 listings on eBay that are just like it, you have to get your listing seen by a buyer at the right time, in the right situation. I don't know if that, I don't know. If I told you guys that you had an item that you would sell 80% sell-through on in the course of a year, a commodity type item like jeans are, that you can pick up fairly cheaply, profit of around, in this case, $21 before your expenses and things like that. On a, I think that's pretty good. Gross profit, your net profit obviously going to be lower after your fees and shipping and all that come out. Like, I probably should run the numbers for the actual cost and shipping and all that good stuff too. I needed to do that. I just wasn't tracking that when we started. I just want to track sell-through, because a lot of people talk about sell-through, and that's real sell-through for 100 pair of jeans that nothing special about them. Just like they were average.
Yeah. And what's interesting to me about all the spreadsheets and all the numbers and statistics and prof math that you whip out here, there's no really good way, or any way for that matter, to chart evolution, right? So from when you first started and you did the jeans thing by yourself, to adding me, to fine-tuning the process to where we are now, like, it changes and it evolves.
Right.
Like, there was a time when we were all about buying all of the jeans. And so it was more, not so much, I wouldn't say quantity over quality, but it was a numbers thing, right?
Sure.
We were going to the bins a lot more. And then we got to the point where we could afford to be pickier. And so we would, and that was a hard transition for me, because we would go to Goodwill or Salvation Army or whatever, and you would tell me what? No, we're just going to concentrate on the higher end ones. You have to have you have to be thinking about a 30 or higher sale price, sweetie. And so that was
Did I call you sweetie?
No, good thing.
Sorry,
but so that was an evolving moment for us as well.
Right.
So
sure.
We get on here and we talk about the things that we talk about, and I think that some people, especially new people, don't realize that we've been here. Now we're here, but we're still moving in this direction.
Right. We're still moving.
And there's no way to chart that. So all we can really do is to share with you in the moment. And, there's spreadsheets. We can bring up the numbers and things. But there's no real way to show, other than sharing with you this kind of stuff, how we change and how we evolve and the choices that we make to get better, basically, at what we do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we definitely have evolved since that point. I know one thing I learned from that day: I would not want to have to list and photograph that many items per day for any stretch of time. It would be a killer for me. Now, I know there are probably some of you out there who are just awesome. I don't know, but I can't imagine having to list and photograph 100 items a day. Like, that is quite a grind. And by the way, I don't know how you'd source that many either very easily. Like our friend Tiffany, who probably does list that many per week, but she has employees. So, because you couldn't do it by yourself. And her strategy, because she's sourcing at the bin, she can get a lot of her items in one store. If I had to go buy 500 pair of jeans, and it would have to be more than 500, because some would have defects or flaws that I would miss. So call it maybe 525 or so every week. I mean, I don't even know how I do. I mean, that would be what I would do. That would be my week. I would not have the time to go through and list and photograph those. That would have to be on you or somebody else completely otherwise. And I'm not sure, like, I don't think we have the desire to do it nor the capacity.
Yeah. And it also speaks to, you know, you mentioned about how, and we're not going to take you guys upstairs today because that's the next room that we're going to work on, but you talked about reducing our footprint and you know, doing that. And that speaks to how we're changing and growing. Right. So.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question a moment ago about Wendy asked,
yeah, good. I was going to ask you.
I have items listed. I don't know how to start going through these and adding in a SKU location numbers. Can you help? Yeah, it's the custom label field in eBay. And you'd have to go in. You could actually bulk edit a whole bunch of listings at once and just add in and make sure you're displaying that custom label field and just add them in. You know, say it's items 1 through 20. And you just say, all right, this is 1, this is 2, and then just keep going. You can also do them individually. You could put them in the title. You could do that too, but it's a little bit easier when you do it. I think it's easier to track on the back end if you do it in the custom label field in some ways because it's just in one place. Process and ship the order if you put it in the title, a custom, your SKU number. If you have room, which you might not. And
right now ours is what, an 8-9 digit thing because it's the location and the SKU.
Yeah, technically
the space
9,
in the middle is 9, so it's 4 and 4 plus the space in the middle. So if you have the space, put it in the title. Some people run out and they can't do that. But Wendy, if that doesn't make sense, just send us an email. But take a look on a listing and go to that custom field.
Yeah, Tom says I'll get down to the last 4 and they'll sit there forever. Could be. I'm curious what it'll be a year from now. Will they still be sitting there? And well, I don't know.
You still have your very first pair.
I do, and they're over 2 years old. So I mean that happens. I mean. I don't have this attachment to an item where I think, oh, it's been here long enough and it has to go. I can make the decision to try to make it go, but there's no magic formula that says, oh, it has to go. I mean, that's up to me. If the cost of goods on a lot of the items we buy is low, although if you aggregate all those costs over a bunch of items, sure, it's a lot. But so to have items to sit there for a while to make a future profit is okay with me. I don't know, like, is there a set time before I would take item number 1 and say, I'm done with you. You're dead to me, and just
at this point,
Kevin O'Leary it and just
at this point you're so attached to that pair of Luckies. I think that they'll move with us to infinity.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, let's see. People were talking about they suck at spreadsheets. That's interesting. I've thought about I've thought about kind of making like a little free PDF or something just to explain them a little better for like resellers, what you kind of need. That people, and I think it's a lot of times just intimidation. They're actually kind of simple in theory. Now they're complex on what they can do. What you need is not complex. So there's definitely things you can do. And I got a guy who's working with me on the 2018 spreadsheet, which will be bigger and bolder and better. I feel like I'm the Deadpool trailer here or something.
Did you watch that latest Deadpool?
Oh, Lord, that movie.
Happy trees.
We can't say any more about that trailer.
It's Deadpool. That's all we can say.
Yeah. So I'm working on that, guys, and that will be coming down the pike shortly. There's going to be adding some things into it. He is helping me create a way to enter the data that will be, I think, really simple for a lot of people to use. And that's going to be cool. Ready with that yet, but that'll be coming down the road very shortly. But I think that, I don't know. It only becomes painful when Prof says it's time to convert to an Access database. Nice. See what you did there. Yeah, a database for be too hard to explain for sure.
Well, and then when I did my Reselling 101, I talked about it. There, if you go to that, what is it called, a playlist?
Yeah.
If you go to that playlist, there's one that I did on spreadsheets to try to make it sound really simple. But there are some key items. You can do it in Google. If you don't have Excel, you can do it in
Google Docs.
Google
is free.
Docs.
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Right.
You can do it for the Mac. There's Pages. But there's a couple of, easy things, easy ways to sort of use the eBay fields within your spreadsheet. Like there's ways that you can have them work together.
Right.
That might be helpful. But yeah, don't let the whole spreadsheets intimidate me thing is not necessary. Start small and learn from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just need a way to keep track of, your inventory and your sales and things like that. I mean, complicated as we make it out to be.
But I think you're being a little modest. The new one, like bells and whistles, would be an understatement. And I'm not, and he won't let me say anything else about it. But it's really, I think what you're doing is going to be really cool.
I think it'll be cool. So hopefully it'll be it. One of the things I'm trying to do with the new one is to make it simpler, and also to make it user proof. And I say that with all respect, but it's very easy. And I've done it many times myself. It's very easy to screw up things in a spreadsheet. They call it fat fingers. Just you type the wrong thing, you type it in the wrong place, you paste it in the wrong place, you copy it in the wrong place. It's very easy to mess something up, and you won't catch it right away necessarily, depending on what it is. So what we're working on is a way to avoid that particular problem. And that's a real problem for even big corporations that are getting, just millions of entries of data every day. And just trying to give you guys a better solution to that, so that if you do make a mistake, the system and say, hey, that's not quite right. Is that really what you meant? And it's going to give you an option to change it so that you can put it the way that you really want it. You can never make it totally user-proof, or humans, we're going to make mistakes, but it's going to be kind of cool. So
it's definitely above my pay grade, but I think what's neat about it is that anybody can use it. Like it's going to be user-friendly.
Right. It'll be simpler.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what other comments we got.
Hey, we could do some show and tell too.
Oh yeah, you want to do show and tell?
I do, and I'm kind of sad to share some of the things. I have two things I want to share with you. But when we were moving things around, one of the things that I have to sell in my store are Star Wars stuff. Collected every Mr. Potato Head ever, and all of the Marvel Comics ones, of course. And when we moved, I don't know how or when it happened, but a couple of them got subjected to the elements. And my heart broke a little this morning when we were moving things around, because unbeknownst to me, my Iron Man 2 potato head, I think he got a little moldy. Look, can they see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
So see those green spots on his face? They're not supposed to be there.
Mold.
So it was probably, I think he was in an attic, and moisture just got in there, and I didn't know. And this is pretty climate controlled in here. It's not like there was excessive change to temperature or environment here, but it just finally caught up with him. So Iron Man 2 has to go, and that makes me sad. So just be mindful of that. There's not much you can do if something like that happens. Because if I break the seal and I open him, then he's not as valuable, although arguably he's not very valuable right now.
I really don't think anybody would buy it, and I wouldn't want to sell it to him saying, hey, buy this moldy Iron Man.
No.
Potato head. And I hope you don't get sick.
I'm going to miss him.
You could either, well, you probably just get rid of it, or you could break the seal and try to clean it. But
I could take it. You know what I could do? I could take him out, I could disinfect him, and I can put him on my new desk because there's so much space on it now.
That's true. That's true. She has the biggest desk in the house now. And
no, tell the truth. So this is why. So I had one of those mega monitors for my old school PC on there, and then I also had my own printer, and I was wondering if you were going to even bring it up yourself. But I'm a color printer girl living in a laser jet world here, and I'm going to let that go. I'm going to sell my printer. Progress. I love my AirPrint printer. I love that I can print in color, but it's going to have to go because I have all this space.
Rag says sell the pieces of your potato head.
Really?
That's a great idea.
That's a really great idea.
Part it out.
Aw, I love that we could have hope for Iron Man 2 potato head.
It's really just the head for the most part that has the issue, which is interesting.
Yeah, and we found another thing that had been in the garage or something where it's a headlamp or something, probably from Bass Pro or something.
Yeah.
But the batteries.
That's really old, that thing.
Is it really?
Yeah, that came from like the old house.
Oh, so that's
it's
like
years
what, 4
old.
or 5?
It's years old, yeah.
Anyway, that thing has corroded batteries. And I guess we didn't show that because, you know, once you've seen a corroded battery, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really great idea. Thank you. I'm glad I showed my Iron Man 2 potato head because now there's hope.
Did you show the shoes?
No, not yet. I don't even know what to say about the shoes. Is Lauren here?
Yeah, she was.
Yep. So Lauren, if you're still here, I know we've talked about this, but these were our first ever Coach
clogs
of ever. Like mules. This is the only Coach thing.
Kind of mules.
Yeah. But these are the only Coach, and you know, in the moment we had Lauren authenticate them when we got them. But these are going to have to, you know, go a different way too, because I don't know if you can see in the toes, but they're just a funky, they've got something on them. And I've done everything I can to sort of get rid of that discoloration, but I don't think.
Yeah, you can kind of see it's discolored.
Yeah, it's just, and I think I've exhausted every shoe trick we have. And believe me, we've got friends in the shoe business. And it's just.
What was that?
You know, we got friends. But yeah, so.
That wasn't too bad. I don't know what you're going for, but it sounded pretty good.
They're great little shoes. So maybe we'll put those on an auction or something. I don't know. Because I hate, like, maybe somebody would find value, but they're kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
makes me sad. Like
when you have a light color fabric like that and you get something on it, and it's kind of a weird fabric. I mean, there's no way to clean it very easily.
No, and I did every tricky trick that people suggested, and they're just so.
Yeah, and you can't wash them because they have a wooden. You know, the sole is wooden, so you can't just throw them in the washer. I wouldn't think. No, and I don't know if I don't think it would work anyway.
Yeah, and they're an absolute. I mean, they're grand, right? They're a great little shoe made in Italy. And no, I'm not going to start singing Madonna, you smarty pantses. But I will go dun 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 dun. Sometimes we just have to let things like that go too. So
I don't know what that was all about.
So are we going to take a little skip around? Do we have any other questions, or you want to go show them the other 2 places? And I can follow along with.
Oh, the other 2 places. Oh, you want to show the office? Yeah, we can do that. All right, so we're going to take you on a quick tour of the office, and is that it?
Well, we could like briefly show the garage. So no comments about the dirty kitchen because that kind of had to wait, and then the table.
Well, we're just like in the midst. All right, so we're gonna.
This is gonna be awkward. Let's just be honest.
If you get motion sickness, you might want to take some Dramamine.
All right, so I'll come with you. Okay. No, I'll follow you. Okay. And I'll breathe heavy in the microphone.
Don't do that.
You're no fun.
I am no fun. All right, so we're walking into the kitchen. Oh, this is weird. All right, so you can see here.
Look at my little space.
This is Karen's space. This will be her desk. And
that's rugby. I'm the rugby mom, so that's all my rugby stuff.
The desk is 5 feet long by 2.5 wide, which is a lot of space. She's even got a little shelf underneath. It's a little hard to see it. But that's going to be really exciting for her. And then my desk will still be here. I'm actually cleaning and decluttering underneath. I had all this stuff under there, like my paper, my shipping supplies, things like that. And it's like, you know, that's just not working for me anymore. But I'll still have my processing table over there. Yeah, it's got a bunch of junk on it right now. But that's going to all be gone soon. My Mac and where we shoot from is usually right over here a lot of times if we're in front of this window.
And then this is office supplies and school supplies here. This used to have inventory on it, but now we put a bigger one here and another scale, all the paper on the bottom. We're going to put shipping supplies in here as well.
Flat rates for the win. 100 at a time. That's the way to buy them right there. Sorry. I'm super proud of my
Did you just truly say that that's the way to buy them?
It is. Not buy them, like get them. You're not buying them. You don't pay anything for them. I know that.
They're free. And then where did all the poly mailers go?
They're over there.
And that's the defective pile.
And then last but not least,
ooh, spooky.
So
I don't think people know.
We've taken you guys in here.
People don't know about all the other things that are in here, like the shoes. What are you gonna do?
All right, so we took the stuff that was there in the other room, and a lot of the stuff needs to be listed and so on. This is basically Kaaren stuff. Some of it is listed, but these shoes you can see here.
These are mine. Mine.
I've got like a terrible. How about now?
Yeah, it works now.
Sorry about that, guys. When you unplug the snowball mic, yeah, I forgot.
I got it.
Sorry. When you unplug the snowball mic,
it snowballs.
No, it just quits working. And when it comes back, it's muted. So sorry about that. But anyway, you saw the garage, you saw the rooms.
Whew.
It is what it is. It's not the power button. It's real. The USB in the back is really weird.
Only professionals working on this YouTube channel.
Hey, when you go mobile, it's always tricky. I don't care how good. But anyway, that's the tour. You saw the garage space. You saw the new office space. And you've seen the photo and video room where we are right now. So, yeah.
Keeping it real, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done a tour like that.
We've never done that. That was probably the first and the last.
Do that again.
Yeah, NSA stopped the mic. Yep, they heard that we had all the secrets to eBay success, and they said we can't have those getting out, and they stopped our broadcast. It's true. That's okay. Cause some excitement in the chat. Absolutely. Anyway, so if you guys, but you kind of saw like the structure of what we were doing in the garage. That was her stuff. It needs to be listed. I'm not sure if the sound dropped out. That's where it needed to be listed. And
so rags, defects are my department. And once a month, whatever we have, and defects for us vary. Like if it's completely unusable, we'll toss it, of course. But if it can be worn or used again, we donate it. And that's part of my process for month end is I'll keep an accounting for our accountant of things that we have to either defect, donate, parcel out, etc. And we I guess we kind of breezed by that, but the defect bucket is by the front door, under a table by the front door, and it's got, it varies, mostly it's just jeans or pairs of shoes.
Right.
But we just went through some hard goods recently. There were like some books and things that we put in there.
Yeah, just do something with them, get some value back out, and you can always donate them back and get some value back out, tax time and so on. So, all right, guys, well, listen, that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. It's Friday, so go out there and crush those sales, crush that sourcing if that's what you're doing over the next 48 hours. And we'll be back Monday with another show, and we will continue updating you on this progress, evolution we're doing here with the office and so on.
This pathway we're taking.
Yeah. So thank you guys for stopping by. We really appreciate it. And check the description down below. All kinds of helpful links down there to all kinds of resources and so on. And what should they do if they enjoyed the content today, Kaaren?
Is my friend Pirate in the chat?
I don't know.
Smash it, mateys.
Smash what?
Smash the like button.
She always forgets that part. I'm like, they're just like smash it, like Hulk smash. They should Hulk smash the like button.
Yes, they should Hulk smash their computers and their smartphones right now.
Little comic action there for you. All right, guys, that's going to do it for now. Take care. We'll see you guys soon. This is Prof Sales.
And just ask Kaaren.
Saying good sales to you.